What's going on, people? We're here, boy. Matisse had a little problem with the laptop. Still, I wasn't late, blood, and you man always trying to get onto man. Yo, Matisse, what you saying, blood?
When you do this post office thing, I'm back in my crib now. This post office Wi-Fi, their priority is not even Wi-Fi. You know, it's like, nah, we need to get that changed. It's mad.
But this is it, bro. These man in the comments that about like 11 minutes late, you know, blood. How much did you pay me for the show, blood? Them man are gonna like they bought tickets, you know, and they was outside in the rain, blood, and there was no one at the ticket office. Allow it, fam. You know them ones there. Talk about later, bruv. Man are moving mad, bruv. Man can't complain. You know them ones. Like, if you've already paid your phone bill, this is a free show, blood. What am I talking about? What you man saying though? DG, what you saying, fam?
I'm there on my guy, Rants, man. I'm there, man. I'm easy still.
I hear you, bruv. Matisse, what you saying though, my guy? Otherwise,
I'm in a good mood still. I'm in a good mood. Obviously, cup finals coming up, secure top 4. So it's all good. Life is good right now.
Yeah, I hear you, bro. Man's just going through the comments anyway. You get me? Anyone chatting shit, I'm gonna block you, blood. You know them ones there. Honestly, I don't care. You know them ones there, fam. Yeah, I really do not care, fam. You know them ones. You know what? The level of entitlement, in this generation is mad.
Crazy,
you know?
It's crazy.
It's mad, bro. Like, are you mad, blood? Man, getting free shows on YouTube, you know. A man's complaining, you know. Are you fucking mad, blood? You're getting blocked. Mad thing. No, them ones there, bruv. Swear down. I know certain man's vocabulary. Late is the biggest word they know, fam. I have to delete you, blood.
Biggest word they know.
Yeah, no, but man don't care. Where's this brother? Like, man, I'll hot you up right here, man. Like Mr. Ali Rants, always late. Ha ha ha. Well, but now you can't watch the show because you're blocked. It's mad. You know, like
now
that.
You gotta find another computer and do a Mazza or something now.
Yeah, bro, man, don't care, fam. That's it. Now you need to make a whole new YouTube account now to watch it.
Man,
you know them
private browser that and not sign in and just do things you don't want to do. Like,
this is it, bruv. This is what we're doing, blood. This is what we're doing. I don't care. At the end of the day, fam. You know them ones there, man. You man ain't sponsoring me. You can suck out, bruv. You know them ones. Them man moving like that. It's mad. You know, like that. But yo, bro, what you man? How you man feeling anyway, blood? Silly season has started. You get me? Bear man getting linked with next man. Bear prices flying around. Bear rumors. Man are saying Arsenal offering this man and money and this man for that man, blood.
And everyone, fam.
Chelsea are looking to the splash Bear P. You get me? A silly season, blood. Like, what are you saying with Arsenal anyway? There was something what they were saying, like Guendouzi and money for like Partey or something, bro.
You know what? I'm not saying nothing really and truly for Arsenal, car. Obviously, with our financial problems, you know, with the need for money, agents can get hella creative in it. And obviously, with, you know, you're seeing Kaya Jarupkin, people can get hella creative. I mean, you know, if you go on this week, we're signing Willian, we're signing Partey, we're signing Coutinho. You know, we might actually get back in the top 4. For me, I don't read too much into these rumors because, like I said, if I was a journalist, I mean, it's not hard to link us with Coutinho. His agent is an Arsenal fan. His agent's always at the games. He's done other dealings. So I don't really think much. The Partey thing, I'm as you know, I'm very pessimistic on transfers. I didn't think Aubameyang was landing, so everything can surprise me. I didn't think he was coming because I don't see us activating that release clause. And now you're seeing that we've offered 25 million and Guendouzi. Now, apparently we've offered Guendouzi about. That kind of makes sense. And to be fair, it's a bit silly that we're doing that if we really don't have money to just splash that 40 million and activate a man's release clause in this climate is upsetting. But for me, I just want to see centre half, bro. Like I don't care, but I know midfield is vital, but I just want to see centre half because now we're going to deal with. I don't think much of Mustafi, but Mustafi's now out until October. He's had a small procedure. Pablo Mari's missing the start of the season. We've only got Saliba next year. You've got David Luiz. You've got players that, you know, we've sat in this same spots we're sitting in and spoke about. But transfers, I'm a bit sour, man. Look at them Chelsea brothers. They're getting Hervites. Gonna have to sadly agenda him. You know, they've got Ziyech. Like they're doing bits, like they're doing bits, and I would just love one of them. So for me, I'm not saying nothing with transfers, my guy, because we're not on nothing.
Yo, what you saying, Matisse, bro? It looks like you man have got the cheat code right now, blood.
Right.
Well. I'm in a good mood, I must say. I'm in a good mood. We're obviously we already signed 2 players, and then on top of that, you've got Havertz coming in, which is basically done at this point. I've been saying that for weeks. You got Declan Rice twerking for Chelsea on stream with Mason Mount and Rio Ferdinand trying to get force a move. You got Ben Chilwell twerking as well, trying to force a move. Apparently, I don't really want Chilwell, but it's nice. It's nice to see that things are going on. So I think Chelsea want Declan Rice for centre back. So that will be an interesting one because obviously we've been playing Kante DM and we've got Ampadu coming back as well from Leipzig. And I think he'll probably might play a part because I feel like Jorginho will leave. So, you know, he had a really good game against Tottenham in the Champions League. So I think Ampadu's got a lot of things that he can bring to this team. And I think they'll go for Declan Rice and I think they'll put him at left side centre back and maybe pair him up with Zuma or pair him up with whoever really that's there. So I'm intrigued. I mean, Declan Rice, it wasn't exactly what I wanted. I preferred like if we went after like a David Alaba, someone that's running out of contract, experience, guaranteed world class. Obviously Bayern are selling. Thiago as well is apparently available as well at Bayern for like 30 million apparently reportedly today. So those are the type of world class players that are about. But with Rice, you got to give it to him. He's been improving as the season goes on. He's got leadership qualities, vice captain.
Played every minute against West Ham.
Yeah, played every minute. He's very durable, much like Mount and Willian and Aspilicueta for us as well. So, you know, as long as the price isn't stupid, like obviously Leicester are touting 60+ million for Chilwell. Leave me out of that. I'm not interested. I don't even really want Chilwell anyway. But in terms of that price, if they can make the price for Rice a little bit reasonable, then I can see it happening. To be honest, I think Chelsea will go for him because he's also an academy product as well. He knows the system. He knows the way. He was here when he was a young boy in the youth system. Obviously, like best friends with Mount, best friends with a lot of the team. So he'll fit in seamlessly. And you can't really that Premier League experience as well. That's something that's rare. Do you know what I mean? You're coming with Premier League experience. You know the league. You know how to defend in the league. So I'm not really complaining, to be honest. It's not my first choice, but if it happens, it happens.
Yeah, I think Declan's a baller, fam. Absolute baller, man. Do you know what I'm saying? He's got the right amount. He's got the arrogance to be at a big club, innit? Like I like players like him. Same with Grealish, innit? Like I see they got arrogance about them. Madison's another one. They just got arrogance about them, bro. I like that. Do you know what I mean? There's certain players I look at in football and I'm like, bruv. Like same with Mount. Like them man ain't really like he ain't got that big club arrogance about him. Maybe he'll grow into it, you know them ones. But Declan's got that already. You know what I'm saying? He's got that armband, the arrogance, bruv. Same with Grealish, innit? And it's one of them ones. Same with Madison as well, bruv. Like he genuinely believes he's the best in the league in his position, bruv. You can see that when he plays and when he speaks and that, innit? And it's just like, yeah, I think that he's definitely got a big club. He's got a big club, big move in him. Whether it will be this season coming, not so sure. I think that with the COVID thing, Declan could probably get priced out of a move because I don't see a team spending 50 million on him, and that's how much it will cost now after the season he's had. I don't see United doing it. I don't see Chelsea doing it right now because it looks like they're prioritizing other positions, bro. You got Kova already, you got Kante. Unless you sell Jorginho, I can't really see you moving for Rice. I don't know. What's the noise about Jorginho?
I think Jorginho will leave. It's really only Juventus we can sell him to. Do you know what I mean? There's not really massive pull for Jorginho. It's going to have to be Sarri. And from what it sounds like, Juventus don't sound like they're really desperate to sign him. They want him, but they're not like in need of midfielders like that. So he would obviously help their system tenfold. He understands the system better than nobody else after Sarri. So I think Chelsea would be happy to let him go. You know, he doesn't really suit the system. He's getting caught in transition, getting bodied 1v1 defending. So I don't think he really suits the high intensity back and forth kind of play that we want to go with. I think even that obviously sales need to happen. I think after Havertz, then sales need to happen. Not because we need the money, but just for the mere squad places. We got too many players. Obviously the goalkeeping situation as well. We're definitely looking at a goalkeeper. We've been linked with like Oblak, linked with Onana at Ajax. So we're being linked with goalkeepers. I think Frank's had enough of Kepa, 100%. I think we'll try and get a goalkeeper. And for Rice, I don't think Rice will play DM. I really think he's going to be playing centre back he played centre back during the youth days as well at Chelsea. And also I think at West Ham. And then he moved into defensive mid. But if you watch his game, I think he could. I personally want him to see him at centre back because he's got a left foot on him. He's really working on that left foot. So to play left-sided centre back, you've seen John Terry of old as well. He really worked on his left foot. By the end of his career, he was basically both-footed playing out the back. And I think Declan Rice is trying to do a similar thing with his left foot. I've definitely seen him spray the ball about with his left foot and it's coming off clean. So I think he's definitely working on it. And I think he's got the makings to be a good centre back. It's obviously going to take time. I'm not expecting him to come in and change our defence in one season, but I think he'll grow with the rest of the team. He's young. And he's got leadership qualities, and we're lacking that.
Well, with the responsibility as well, man.
Yeah, he'll take responsibility, and we're lacking that. We need a voice, we need leadership. So if he's going to bring that, regarding the fees not too mad, then I can't really complain at this point, to be honest, because the market is very, very small. And people have been, talking about maybe Gabriel at Lille and defenders like that. They got to come over, acclimatize to the league, acclimatize to a new country. They're speaking a different language. The communication in the back four is messy. There's loads of things like that are not taken into account. Yeah, the player is quality, but is he going to come in and fill the role that's needed in terms of the voice, the speaking, the man up, markup? Do you know what I mean? That kind of stuff from the corners. If he's not able to do that, then we're going to still have the same problem. So communication is key, and I just want one line of communication across that defense.
I don't know about the Rice. Obviously, I know he can play centre back, but I don't like the idea of people trying to force him back into centre back. I feel like he stepped out at centre back and played DM because he wants to play there, bruv. And I think he's good enough to play there. Do you know what I mean? I think if you play him as centre back, you lose something, innit? Because the way he breaks up play, the way he sees a forward pass, yeah, cool, you can do it from defence, man. But I feel like modern football, man, there's way too much emphasis on centre backs now being able to play, blood, and bruv, they need to be able to defend first and foremost, innit? And that's what it is, bro. I judge centre backs not on how playing out from the back. That's the last thing I look at, bro. Can you stop this youth from scoring?
And you hold your line.
You know what I'm saying? There you go.
Your shoulder, simple.
Exactly. Controlling it, like judging the flight of the ball, all these other things, yeah, that players you don't have to do as a central midfielder, bro. You know what I mean? If you, as a centre back, if you misjudge the flight of the ball, you're done at it, out of the game. You know them ones, and it's just these little things, yeah. I haven't seen enough of him as a centre half at the top level, yeah. At the top level to take a risk to spend 45 million on him and play him at centre back. Yeah. I don't have to play man where I've seen him play. And for me, he's one of the best holding midfielders.
Yeah, the only issue Chelsea are going to come with is that obviously Kante plays there. Now, obviously, he's quite injury prone at the moment because we're mismanaging him heavily, rushing him back, and he gets injured again. Jorginho, I think, will leave anyway. You got Kovacic as well. You got Gilmore. So a lot of players that play in that deep third position for Chelsea, even after Jorginho leaves. Kovacic is not a number 8. He's not a box to box. He's not an attacking midfielder. He's definitely a deep lying midfielder. Same with Billy Gilmore. So they got a lot of numbers in that area. So that's why. I do think they're looking at it for centre back now. Obviously, it's going to take him some time to adjust. Same with Ampadu as well. Ampadu very much is a half-stroke DM centre back as well. So we've already got someone young enough. And I think Ampadu has the same potential as Rice. I just think Ampadu is heavily slept on. Plays for Wales in that DM role. It's just
Didn't he play centre half against Spurs, or was it in the middle of the park?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he played centre half against Spurs, and he was unbelievable. He was one of the best players on the pitch. So you don't come in and do that unless you got talent. And people will say he hasn't played much at Leipzig, but that's because they've had a settled defense. You don't change what's not broken. Do you know what I mean? They had a very settled partnership at the back of Upamecano and someone else as well. And it's not always easy to break into that. And when you've got a settled defense, you don't change it. So they've had a very good season. But he's definitely capable of playing for us 100%. I think he's got more experience than the likes of Hudson-Odoi, the likes of Gilmore, and they're in the team. So, you know what I mean? Sometimes you just have to trust the talent. And I very much believe Ampadu's got the talent to do it.
Interesting, bruv. Yo, did you man see the ESPN thing? I actually retweeted it, you know. I retweeted it. Was it Don Hutchison or something like that? Absolute pagan, yeah. Come out and said, yo, if United sign Sancho, then Martial gets benched, you know. And fam, this is what I've been telling you, man, that watch all of us on YouTube and that. You see these so-called journalist experts, bruv. Most of these men, unless they're getting paid to watch a game, they don't watch football.
They don't know what they're talking about.
They don't know what they're talking about, blood. Just because you see a man in a flipping shirt on television, you think that man knows anything. And this includes the ex-players and all these man there. Most of these men, if they're not getting paid to be in the studio, they're not watching the game, bruv. Even if they're your club legends, guys, like they don't care to watch every match, bruv. Most of them don't care, bruv. Like they got families. They got money coming elsewhere, bro. Football was their job. And now, if they're not getting paid to watch football, they're not watching it.
Bro. Yeah.
This is just how it is, bro. So when man's coming out, Martial, who's been our player of the season, arguably, yeah, over the course of the season, yeah, would probably have a golden boot if he took our penalties as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So when man are looking at that, for man to say that Martial gets dropped here and Greenwood and Rashford start, bro. And a lot of it comes with this bias as well. the xenophobic bias, blood, from a lot of these English pundits, bro. Martial's easily our best attacker at the
You
club.
know what it is for me? It's the annoyance that there's always got to be some story. There's always got to be someone's future is not going to be here because of my man. There's such thing as competition. There's enough games. Obviously, when you look at it, you know, you've got Rashford, Greenwood, and Martial. Four doesn't go into three. It don't make no sense in it. So obviously someone's competing, but there's a lot of games over this season. There's 38 alone. You know, Martial, Rashford, Greenwood. There's injuries. There's loss of form. There's just simply better options. There's trying different things. They will play. They're both quality players. They will play. There is no story here. This shouldn't be a thing. This is just clickbait. Martial's a bad boy footballer. The only problem with Martial is debating, is he a left winger or a striker? He will play football for Manchester United. Sancho takes them up to another level. Evidently, you need a right winger. Sancho is that. You know, Greenwood is 18 now. There's going to be times where he's not at it. You know, it's a bit like with us, with Martinelli. You can't expect them man there to give you certain performances each week in, week out. So it's a non-story. And like you said, Rants, it perfectly put. Them man, they are not watching football. Like there's nothing wrong with saying Sancho's a baller, but they're not watching football. They're making out that Martial's a dog. It's nonsense, man. It's a non-story. Stupidness.
I mean, the thing is with this is that, like you said, there's always got to be a headline, right? So if Sancho comes in, someone's got to leave. That's just how they think about it. You've got 3 up front and there's 4 ballers. How is that not rotatable? That's the easiest.
How's that not a good thing? Because they're all going to have to play better. Like, they're all going to have to play better to start, bro.
Look how many games Daniel James played, yeah? Bro, Dan James has got nearly 30 starts, you know?
Bro.
A man think, yeah, bro. And these men think it's going to be an issue, Jadon Sancho coming in. And Martial's going to be the one to get out of it. There's enough games for all of these men to play 30 games, you know?
There's enough football. Enough. And bringing in Sancho, you could argue bringing in Sancho takes Greenwood, Martial, and Rashford up to another level because it's similar to what we spoke about last video with Liverpool. They have to up. You know, if Greenwood and this man know they don't do the business, they're not playing week in, week out. Sancho knows it's not a Dortmund thing. There's 3 quality players. So that could only bring the best out. And who is to say, when I think of Sancho, I think of a right winger. Who is to say Oli won't do something creative like play Greenwood in a 10 or slightly behind the striker, a role he can do effectively, which he's done at youth level. So it's just silly from ESPN, and they're just proving their ignorance time and time again, man. Stupid.
You need depth first of all, and you need something off the bench. Whenever I look at Man United, I'm like, who's coming off the bench to influence this game, change this game? And your starting 11 is very strong when you've got your strongest, but when you look to the bench, it's Dan James, it's Igalo. You know, this is not Man United level. Do you know what I mean? So you need players like Sancho to come in and actually provide that. And like I said, if you have the same with Liverpool's front 3, Firmino, if he had some real challenge this season, maybe he's not slacking with the goals. Because there's no coming to bench him, then obviously you can take your mind off the ball. So you got 3 young players, you bring in another one. It's easy to rotate. People forget this as well in football. There's injuries, there's suspensions, there's loss of form. There's a whole heap of factors that come in. It's not
field matters. Man might have to miss games.
You know what I mean? It's not ultimate team where you just slap in the fitness card and the guy just plays 60 games a season. It doesn't work like that. So you've got Greenwood, who really shouldn't even be starting every game, just to manage him properly. He's a young kid. Do you know what I mean? It's gonna be he's still coming up.
Next
got
year,
Martial,
full season as a pro. Like he's just coming
exactly
this year.
Greenwood don't need to start every game. Greenwood is not going to demand to start every game. None of them will. They're at Manchester United. Do you know what I mean? Gone the days of Tevez, Ronaldo, Rooney, Berbatov, all in the same team, and you man are talking about
hella strikers, and they all used to get games.
You lost your mind. Even Nani.
Yeah.
Even Nani. Do you know what I mean? You man have lost your mind. You lost your mind.
When we spent 34 million, combined on Nani and Anderson, I never saw man saying where they gonna play. I never saw that. Never saw that. You know them ones. Get the hell out of here, bro. You see what I mean? These times, man, I got Carrick and Scholes and that, and no one was like, "Oh, where these men gonna play?" Because they understood, that to win titles, you need a squad.
You need a squad.
Now all of a sudden, these men are chatting rubbish, bro. Out of nowhere, bro.
111. It don't work.
You got Dan James, Juan Mata, Andreas Pereira, Jesse Lingard. Phil Jones. We've got these 5 men in our squad, and men think that we don't have space for ballers, bro.
You can never have too many ballers. You can never fit in too many good players. Like obviously, you can imbalance the side having too many players. But seriously, Sandro, the one side
You're nowhere near there. You're not there.
We're nowhere near that. You know them one.
It's nonsense.
Bruv, you know them ones. That's like having a £10 in your bank account and you're worried about having too much money, fam. You know what I mean? Like, bro, you can't be worried.
You can't be worried.
You look at Man City. They had Bernardo Silva, David Silva, De Bruyne, Mahrez, Sané, Sterling, Jesus, and Aguero. There's 9 players for the front 4 positions. And you man, what's gonna happen with Jesse Lingard and Mata?
Bro, Bernardo Silva only started 15 games, you know. 15 games. And no one's saying, oh, why isn't Bernardo playing? Man feel like he's played more games than that because he has. Yeah. He didn't start them.
Trust. I thought he definitely played more than 15 if Fabian never said that. Trust me.
There you go. And this is what it tells you about football. It's a squad game, bruv. Yo, Matisse, man said about the Dundalk tracksuit as well.
Yeah, man. I'm just slightly just kind of rep the Irish, innit? Because they're not really on YouTube too much, so...
That's what I mean. And it's the English bias. It's the English bias, bro. It's a joke, innit? You see it all the time in football. They're always trying to push certain man ahead of certain man. If they want to run agendas on certain man, they run agendas on certain man. Do you know what I mean? It's poor, innit? It's poor, but we see it too much in the journalism and in the reporting, bro. You know what I mean? And that's why it's important to have not just a diversity in the mainstream media, but diversity of thought as well, blood. They always bring in the same pundits here that think the same way, bro. You know them ones there, bro. Like if man want to get onto Pogba, then everyone's getting onto Pogba, blood. You never even. How often do you see these men even debating in the studio over an opinion? It's like every time someone says, "Man,
everyone's got the Brexit."
Everyone's got the same Brexit opinion, blood, all the time. There's no diversity of thought, blood. You know what I'm saying? Because man are trying to push agendas.
You'd think there would be, for the amount of time Souness has come after Pogba, you'd think there would be someone to openly challenge him straight up.
Only the rare times ever is on that.
They just allow him to talk and just like run off into some whole tangent about Pogba when Pogba's not even on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? It's like there should be someone to challenge that.
But that's where them guys are bad though, man, because all ESPN and Sky and TalkSport, all they care about is engagement. They don't have integrity. Why else do you... Ozil is never playing for Arsenal, yeah? We all know Ozil is past it. You type in Ozil or Arsenal, you will not go far without seeing something about Ozil because they know people are going to get themselves in hysteria. Pogba, for months, Pogba's not playing, but he's the talk of it. As soon as Bernardo comes in and he does well for United, why can't Pogba do that? All they care about is engagement levels and all that. You lot know yourself. The dynamic that sells is ranting, raving, and saying, you know, erratic things. And the pundits no different from these YouTubers, man. Absolutely no different.
100%, bruv. And yeah, look at the point he's made about the Chelsea front line. Look what they've signed, yeah. And look what they already have. They already got Pulisic. Do you know what I mean? They haven't got rid of Willian yet. You know them ones. He might even sign an extension. Who knows, innit? The bottom line is, Chelsea signing man that they need, and then they'll worry about fitting them in after. That's what proper football teams do, innit? You don't look at the thing and say, well, we've got this. We don't really need this. Bruv, it's not about needs, blood. Bruv, do you want to be a successful team or not? Do you know what I mean? The top teams in football have literally 16 man, look at Bayern Munich. That can all start. There's no one on the Bayern Munich bench, that wouldn't start for other teams, blood.
The thing is, especially in a COVID market where Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern even as well are reining in their funds. They're not going to go after Havertz because they got Sané in financial difficulties. Like the biggest clubs in Europe are no longer at the table to talk business. Do you know what I mean? They've taken themselves off the table. You don't see Real Madrid and Barcelona coming up because otherwise they would have taken Havertz, no doubt. So when you have an opportunity to strike gold, you don't start saying, I'm not going to sign Havertz, who's probably, you know, top 5 under 21 talents on the planet. Because I'm just going to leave it for next time. What do you mean next time? You're not going to get this opportunity again. If we didn't get Hazard when we won the Champions League because we didn't what do you mean you're not feeling it?
You would have been at United or City, for sure.
Yeah. You might have lost your mind, honestly. If you see a player of that ilk, when they're available, you just take them. You really just take them. It's as simple as that. Yeah? We've got some people in the Chelsea fan base who think we don't need Havertz. We do. Do you know what I mean? We may need defenders as well. We still need Havertz. Do you know what I mean? If you see how positionally versatile this guy can play false 9, play right wing, play 10, play 8, you're trying to tell me we don't need this guy? Are you?
Really be for Switch as well.
You know what I mean? Do you know how many injuries suspend? You've got Hudson-Odoi, who's coming back from injuries all the time. Pulisic is known for having injuries. Loftus-Cheek is guaranteed to probably have more injuries. And we've got Willian probably leaving, maybe not. Hopefully he does though. Pedro is definitely leaving. You got Werner coming in. Obviously you got Ziyech. Obviously Abraham Giroud. Fam, stack it up. Do you know what I mean?
If you don't do the business, you don't play. And if you got something to say about not playing, speak to your agent and the club. Things get done. It's almost like Giroud. Now, Giroud could have left Chelsea because of the not playing and stuff. At the end of the day, he got his chance and he took it. And that's what top football has to be. Don't get twisted. I do believe there is a case to say, you know, when a squad is imbalanced, like to a degree, I think Arsenal is imbalanced in some ways. But I look at Arsenal and I say, if you look at our front three, that's probably the least area we should be fixing up. But if there's a left winger available or right wing, I'm on it. Like Zaha, you know, there are some people I'd rather than Zaha, but people are saying don't sign Zaha because we've got Saka, we've got Martinelli, we've got Aubameyang. And I hear that, but he's better or
he improves your team.
Exactly.
Any player that improves your team, you can't give me an argument to say we don't need him, because if he improves the team, we need him, blood. The only players you don't need are players that don't improve your team.
That's it. There's always space for good players. Simple as. You can never have too many quality players. You can never have too many quality players. The best footballers can be fitting. It's almost like Liverpool. People sit here and cry, oh, they can't sign a striker because of Firmino. Yes, you can. You can play Firmino behind, or if you find someone with the creativity, you have to put it up. Simple as. Yeah, bench. Simple as. People complicate.
They could sign another striker, and I would argue, that if they signed a striker, like a Timo Werner, that bruv, Firmino might score more goals because he'll know that, bruv, when he looks at Origi, he knows Origi's never going to be first choice.
Yeah, he knows
he knows that. You know what I'm saying?
Liverpool are just an injury away from their front three being significantly weaker. Like they don't have anybody on the bench to come on that is of the similar standard. Do you know what I mean?
If they had to start Origi for 10 games, you would notice a difference in Liverpool.
Same with Shaqiri. What? Come on now, Shaqiri. Come on now.
And they clearly know this because they tried to sign Fekir, a player that could probably means Firmino might not play. So yeah, they know this. He tried to get Werner, he tried to get Fekir. Clearly, he knows you can't have too many good players, or you need depth. Depth is underrated because there's not too many teams you look at in the league collectively and say they have a good squad. I don't think Arsenal have a good squad. United have a good 11. Again, squad is another case to say. Chelsea, you've got a better squad, collective squad than you have done. But again, there's another case to say. I'm only looking at City and saying, you know, collectively, hand on heart, that is a good squad. You know, 11 SC team is still good enough to get top 4 realistically. None of our clubs can say that. Depth is an important thing. There's a lot of games, and especially with all this sort of stuff, players are playing a lot of football. It's more competitive. The games are coming thick and fast. You need more players. It's simple as that. Simple as.
It's true.
100%. Yo, what's your thoughts on Willian Matisse, bro? Because this one's here. You're saying people think he's another Ozil inconsistent player on higher wages. I don't know what wages he's on, blood, to be fair.
His wages are not that mad. And the thing is with Willian, he's not another Ozil in terms of playing style, obviously, because there's two different ends of the spectrum. Willian works quite hard, whereas Ozil's quite lazy off the ball. But in terms of inconsistency, all you have to do is go look at Willian's stats over the years. And I'm not one to just judge off of stats, but I've also done the eye test, so I'm going to use the stats to back it up. The brother has not hit double digits for goals or assists until just now, this season. And he's been here for 7 years. Pulisic has done it in 1,000 less minutes. He's got more goals and assists. Got the same goals and assist contribution this season with 1,000 less minutes. So that tells you already that we can improve on that position. You talk about improving the squad. That is a position where we have underperformed. You talk about Hazard at left wing and Willian at right wing. Hazard has had a lopsided attack because Willian is not got the same level of quality for output. You stick a Gareth Bale over there, this is a different ball game. You know this. Chelsea fans know this. I don't know why we try and pretend and lie to ourselves like as if Willian has not underperformed from an attacking aspect. If you're trying to win the league, you look at the front threes that win the league. You look at Man United with Tevez, Ronaldo, Rooney sharing the goal contributions. You got Salah, Mane, and Firmino when they won it. Well, not when they won it. Obviously, they're not sharing it around this time too much. But do you know what I mean? That's three players of top level. You got Chelsea when they won it. Do you know what I mean? You got Drogba, Anelka, Malouda, all sharing it out. Man City the same. You need your front three to equally distribute the load. Do you know what I mean? And we haven't done that. It's always been Hazard, maybe a striker. Most of the time not, because it's been Morata or Higuain. And then no right winger scoring the goals either. So For me, it's time for Willian to go. I've been saying this for years. Do you know what I mean? I'm not on this whole thing with you've had a purple patch when your contract's been running out and now you want to start delivering. If that's the case, then sign him up to a month on like a phone contract. Just do a top up. I've said this before, because if you're not going to consistently do it throughout the whole season when you're at 30 plus, you're not homegrown, so you're not needed for that side of the thing either for the squad numbers. You're not needed for that. People talk about, we need experience, We've got experience. Giroud's there, Aspilicueta's there. Do you know what I mean? If you bring in, you've got Kovacic, who's been Champions League winner. So I'm only looking for, and we've got a Ziyech coming in as well. We've got wingers coming in. You've got Havertz coming in. There's no space for him, in my opinion. There's no space for him because I'm looking at Willian as a character who's not going to just chill on the bench without causing a strop. If you're going to be a backup player, you want to break into the team, but don't start causing unrest. And that's what Willian will do, in my opinion. Same with David Luiz. You look at a Pedro or Giroud, different ball game. They will work to get into the team, but they will also not cause unrest by being backup. I don't see Willian handling that backup role very well, and he can't start next season. He's not good enough. So I'm happy for him to go. He's too inconsistent. For me, I'm trying to change the culture at the club. We need a new culture going forward and new players coming in, fresh vibe. Willian stinks of the past for me. Stinks of the past. Where players and squads, they overrule managers, they get them out, they do all of this extra shit. And to be honest, they don't even have the quality to stand for it. If you're going to do that, you're going to run the club and you're going to get managers out like VS Boris, etc. When John Terry and Lampard did it, at least be good. Do you know what I mean? But you can't be inconsistent and moving like that. With the way that he acted at the end of Conte's stint as well, won the FA Cup, covered up Conte's picture with the emojis on Instagram. I'm not feeling it. His whole attitude, when he's calm when he's playing. When he's not playing, he's a problem. So I'm not interested. I'd rather just get him out because he's not good enough anyway.
I hear that. And you see the players like Willian, I don't like to dwell too much on stats, innit? Because someone posted a Zaha thing. We're going to talk about that after. But he's not the kind of player that you would consider an impact player, even from the bench, even if you did keep him. If he doesn't start, if you got 10 minutes to go and you need a goal, you don't bring Willian on. No, you know them, man. Like, you bring Willian on maybe if you're 2-1 up here and you need a defensive right winger to just put in some graft here to see the game out, bruv. He's not really an impact player, bruv. So if he's not really doing too much when he starts, he ain't no use to man on the bench.
No,
he's no use to man, and especially if he's not got the personality where he's a positive influence in the dressing room. What is the point in having him? There's absolutely no point in having him at the club whatsoever, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, as you said, in the modern game, your wide players need to be chipping in with goals. They need to be chipping in with goals. Your front three should be at least combining for 50 goals at least. At least, blood, your front three. Do you know what I mean? So if Willian's coming out and he's not scoring goals, it's a massive problem, especially
he doesn't even get enough assists. There's not enough goals or assists in his game. He doesn't get over 10 assists for the season since he come here. And same with goals up until this season, I think 10-10. It's not good enough. Do you know what I mean? This is someone in their prime. We're not talking about a young player who can improve. For me, Hudson-Odoi in the final third, I know his stats don't back it up, but if you just look at the advanced stats of the way this guy is projecting and the way he's going, the way that he moves in the final third, the way that he makes key passes in the final third, he's got far more potential. Do you know what I mean? Same with Pulisic. You already saw this season. Ziyech, much better player as well. You got Havertz coming in. You got Werner who can play wide as well off the left. And then you got Giroud and Tammy. So there's just no need. There's no need. You got Mount as well. Ruben Loftus-Cheek. There's no need. And if you want more depth, then go and get the guy from Brentford. Go and get Panorama. Go and get him, because that's another baller that's just chilling, waiting around. That's a better option than Willian for me.
Link him as well.
You know what I mean? At least I know he's got ability, serious ability. Willian is very much, every time someone talks about Willian, it's he works hard. We need someone to track back. We're not Conte and Mourinho anymore. We've moved on. Do you know what I mean? Bayern Munich didn't sign Sané because he can track back. They signed him because he's going to do something up top. Do you know what I mean? You want people to track back, maybe just fix your defense. Do you know what I mean? Track back is important. It's not the be all and end all. Do you know what I mean? It's not the be. You can teach people to track back. That's just coaching. Working hard is coaching, or it's the players' mentality.
Track back if you get, because it happened with Pepe and Arteta. Arteta indirectly talked about tracking back. He took him out of the team. Now, if you look at Pepe, he's not playing amazing, but he is putting more of a shift on defensively. So it's true. What I'm saying, you can sort that stuff out very easily. But what you do need is a good base level to work with. And to be fair, I don't mind Willian, innit? I'm not a Chelsea fan, so I don't see how much he really frustrates someone truly. But considering his age and the contract he's at and the signings they're doing, Chelsea might might as well just let him go. I don't know if there's any other young players in your academy, but if anything, let a young player get that game time. I think with, you know, the adaptability that a lot of their new signings are coming with and the players they've got, and, you know, if Callum's fit and has another season under his belt, Willian's not a problem. Like, again, I like the experience thing, but I think it's thrown around too much. It's like, experience for what? Where is Willian's experience going to help? Is he going to teach these young players, or do they need Lampard? Where does the experience make the difference? Like, I don't. Yeah. It needs to be applied in the right context.
You can't teach when he's not better than them. You know what I mean? Pulisic is not going to learn. You can't learn from Willian. Willian's better. The only thing Willian teaches is the defensive track and back. And I'm sorry, get a coach for that. Do you know what I mean? He's not here to be a coach. He's here to
all pointers here and there because of the wisdom.
Yeah. And the thing is as well with Willian is that he's taking the piss. Do you know what I mean? Like, he wants a 3-year contract. He's 32 or 30. He wants a 3-year contract.
I'm not even playing levels to suggest that.
What are you smoking, bro? Like, our policy is meant to be 1-year extensions for 30 plus. Terry, Lampard, Drogba didn't get it. David Luiz got one last summer, got a 2-year deal, and then obviously went to Arsenal. We offered him a 2-year deal, and he's saying he wants a 3. Yo, leave, man. It's too cheeky. It's too cheeky. He's biting the hand that feeds him. You know when you give someone a little bit and they take a lot.
He keeps his wife likes living in London, and I get all of that. It's not if you want to go back to their level, and Arsenal have to feel the same way as well. And even United with Matisse getting a new deal, I know he played well. Need to stop being a retirement.
Should have never got that deal, man. I don't care, innit? It's one of them ones where
I don't understand.
For me, I think the age thing is overstated in football, because as sports science gets better, as players start to look after themselves better, players can play for longer, bro. They can, innit? Yeah, when I see 28-year-old, 29-year-old man, and man are talking about them like they're old, it infuriates me, innit? You know them ones, and it's mostly the new generation of football fan. Do you know what I'm saying? A lot of them watch our stuff, do you know what I mean? Because they're the YouTube generation, innit? But you got to understand, football progresses. You know what I mean? A 33-year-old man, in football 10 years ago that used to drink, smoke, do all these other things, ain't the same as a 33-year-old done now. You look at Ashley Young, bruv, he's gone over to Italy. And Vardy, top scorer and that. These man's bodies are
31. Like, bro.
You see what I mean? All about Aubameyang's build, and the way he looks after himself. And he's, even if Aubameyang loses half a yard of pace, he's still quicker than everyone.
This is
you know that.
And then unless he has injured as well.
Unless Aubameyang has a bad injury, he's got at least 4 more years at the top level. At least.
It's all about how players look after themselves, because Aubameyang, Jamie Vardy's probably a terrible example. That man.
He's a good example, bro. Because
is he a good example?
Stuff like not playing international football anymore. Obviously,
exactly. You got Aspilicueta. Do you know what I mean? Those players right there, they got durability. They will last. People speak about them declining. You're more likely to see Dembele at Barcelona finish his career earlier. Do you know what I mean? Because he doesn't look after himself. He doesn't turn up to training on time. Doesn't have the right diet. Just doesn't take his career seriously. You know what I mean? People talk about, it's Barcelona's physios. It's probably him as well. Do you know what I mean? I don't see everyone else at Barcelona getting injured all the time. So it must be him. Do you know what I mean? He's not serious. So if you're not serious to wake up on time, come to training and play with Messi, you got something wrong with you. Do you know what I mean? So if you can't wake up out of bed to play with Messi every day, there's something very wrong.
There you go. You can't teach that. If he's not self-motivated and he doesn't have the right attitude, then it's on the club. Club shouldn't be buying players with the wrong motivation, bro. Do you know what I mean? But like, I remember, like, even when I was speaking to Van Aanholt, and they were like, isn't he good? Isn't he 29? I'm like, bruv, man still got at least 4 years at the top level, bruv. 29 is not old, blood. Was Ashley Young, what is he, like 35 now or something? And he's playing in Italy and he's badding up that league, fam.
Even in Italy, that's ending your career as well.
You won the Champions League at like 34. I don't know.
I saw a 34-year-old Patrice Evra playing for Juventus, and men think that 29's old, you know.
Yeah, it's how you look after them. And they also say the indicator is recurring injuries, and not to touch wood, but you look at someone, to use Aubameyang as an example, he has no significant injury, so it just further boosts the thing that you shouldn't just judge a book by its cover. Just obviously the age debate is valid for some man, but it's not the one rule that sticks. It's how you look after yourself, and it's how you're managed. Like Giggs at United is probably not a good example, but clearly there was a time where he wasn't the Giggs of 10 years ago, and Ferguson managed him. He's like, you're not going to play week in, week out. There's going to be some games you're required. You're going to be on the bench 9 9 times out of 10. People don't understand these things with football. Like, they really don't. They don't understand it. Sometimes age is even a benefit of things as well.
For sure. Bro, a lot of the time, yeah, players improve with age, blood, because they stop doing the stupid things they don't need to do, fam. They don't chase these balls they don't need to chase. Do you know what I mean? They can't play the way they used to play. They don't waste energy. They're a lot more economical. They're a lot more clever, bro. That's why a lot of players actually improve with age, blood. Like, I even watched it. You look at someone like Michael Owen, yeah, he had bare injuries as a youth. He used to be a player that dribbled, ran with the ball, go past people. And he fine-tuned his game into just being a poacher, and he still bagged goals, blood. And the thing is, still bagged goals. He was 5'8", scoring headers and that, bro.
Ridiculous.
His movement was wavy, blood. And the thing is, you would have never seen that side of his game if he didn't have the injuries. Do you know what I mean? And as he got older, he was like, you know what, my body can't do this no more. Man's gonna adapt. And sometimes when players adapt their game, yeah, you see a whole nother side to them, bro. And it just makes them a lot more economical. And when they get older and they can't run as much, you know what I mean? Most of these guys, the Paul Scholes they remember is the Paul Scholes that didn't have legs, bro.
Yeah. And then you forget all about the Paul Scholes that used to play false nine and running the behind.
That used to play more
than that. They don't know that Paul Scholes. They don't know about that.
Played, bruv, broke through as a forward, yeah, and then was doing the box to box thing and that. They don't remember that. They remember the Paul Scholes that was sitting deep, pinging the ball, moving around.
He was accommodated on the flanks as well, indirectly as well. People don't remember.
He could only do that because his legs were gone, fam. You know them. Arguably, that's the best Paul Scholes they've seen. And his legs were gone, bro. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, sometimes, age can be beneficial, bro. Because if they're good in the changing room, they're good to have around. If they've got the leadership qualities, they've got the experience. In the big games, blood, there's loads of games this season where I thought, you know what, I wouldn't have minded having Ashley Young there at left back instead of Brandon Williams. Just because I know Ashley Young's going to know when to waste time.
Smart.
When to win a free kick. Do you know what I mean? When to stay down on the floor for a bit longer. You know them, man. All these little things, bruv. These youths, they can learn a lot. They can learn a lot.
True, you know? The amount of times Chelsea this season they've had turnovers because one of our young players have lost the ball on the halfway line. They've tried to do something stupid on the edge of their box. It's like we're 1-0 up or 2-1 up in the last minute. What the hell are you doing? Just clear it. Do you know what I mean? And they're just not thinking straight because it's a lack of experience. So the experience does come in handy, but it's the right experience. That's the key word here. It needs to be the right experience. I don't need bad experiences in the team because that just makes it
relevant. Like relative
bad habits. It's about the right experience. If you got the right experience to bring, then cool, bring it. If you don't, then don't bring it. I'd rather a bunch of novelists that can just learn how to do things properly together than have experience come in, that's the wrong type of experience, and come and mess the whole thing up. People you talk about maybe signing who's a bad example in terms of influencing a team potentially. Look at someone like maybe Balotelli when he joined Liverpool under Rodgers. Didn't really make no sense. Do you know what I mean? Not pressing, not going to work hard for the team. You know, this guy's got a record of trying to shoulder in goals and that. That's not what you want. Do you know what I mean? There's experience you need and certain experience you don't need.
Look at United getting Hendrik Larsson a couple of years ago. There was a role goal do and he did it. These people don't understand.
He did it with Laurent Blanc as well. Man go on Ferguson only signed young players. He signed young British players, if they were the cream of the crop. Do you know what I mean? Like the Carricks, the Ferdinand. But blood, if there was an experienced player that could come in and do a job, now he picked them, blood, because it was all about winning, bro. There should be a mix of youth and experience in every single team, blood.
Yes.
You need a good few plus 30-year-old man in your team, blood. You need it, fam. I mean, you need that, bro, because them man have been there, done that. And even if they're not starting, you need these men in training. Do you know what I'm saying? You need these men to make these men earn their money. Do you know what I mean? And to slap these youths behind their head when they think that they've made it already, blood.
They're the bee's knees and that,
when they've got 5 first-team starts and the man are pulling up in the Lamborghini truck and that, blood. They need the 30-year-old man to grab man by the collar and say, listen, you ain't made it yet, fam.
Calm down, innit? Yeah.
And they need that. So when you've got all these teams, like our teams now, when you look at them, especially United and Arsenal, who are the influences in that team, blood? You know them ones. Mason Greenwood's coming through looking up to Marcus Rashford.
That's it.
Rashford's a youth, blood.
Everyone's probably looking to Saka and Martinelli now. You're not looking at Luiz. You're not. The only experienced one that I'm probably looking at and respecting him in that Arsenal team, because of how he's playing is Xhaka. I'm not listening to Luiz. I'm not listening to Mustafi. Socrates can't tell me nothing. Like it's relative experience. It's like at Arsenal, experience probably doesn't apply to us because we bought experience, man. But together with a poor defensive system and naive thinking, it's irrelevant. Luiz, I actually feel Luiz has been. He's not been terrible, and he's actually, he's been, when I'm going to the Emirates, he's been very good with Saka. He's been very good talking to Xhaka. He is a very good player for that sort of talking stuff. But he obviously shows his level with the mistakes. So it's irrelevant experience because Arsenal fans, we had that. People saying he's a proven winner. He's been around the block. The way Arsenal are now, he it's a different challenge. He's like the teacher. That's all aired to me. If you're not consistent and street smart. Experience is relative, and you can't always say somebody is a good signing because they're experienced. You can't always count someone off because they're 30, 32. It doesn't make sense. You must by that logic. I know Ronaldo makes no sense, but Ronaldo should be shit then. It don't make sense. It's how you look after yourself. Simple as.
Yeah, that's how Ronaldo looks after himself, but also the way he's adapted his game, bro. Like Ronaldo don't get involved in the build up no more because he ain't got the legs for that no more.
Yeah, even when he went to Madrid, he said, "You know what? I want to do the skills I was doing at United, but if I want to be an elite goal scorer, I have to rub it out to a degree. I have to be more on scoring, like adaptability."
There you go, bruv. These men are saying he said so many top teams need a centre back. Who do you buy on the market? Top 4 prediction for next season. We can't predict next season because we don't know who's gonna buy who and who's gonna do what. Blood, you know them ones. What happens in the transfer market will massively influence who man thinks is going to finish where. If Man City go out there Mazza, blood, then you know what I'm saying? I just don't
get Sancho. It's a different ball game. If they don't.
But in terms of top centre backs, bruv, there's not too many top centre backs out there, bruv. Do you know what I mean? There's not really, bro. To be honest, there's a shortage of top players, period, outside of the top clubs. You know what I mean? When I mean top players, I mean just pure ability, bruv. Do you know what I mean? There's no real standout players.
Evidently next level.
Yeah, like honestly, bruv, like even when you look in the Premier League, when you look at like the Sons, the Manes, the Salahs and that, what's the difference between their level? It's minimal. You know what I mean? When you look at Raheem Sterling and that, how far is Sterling away from Mane and Salah? Not that far, blood. It's all minimal. Like,
yeah.
You know them ones. Like, there's not many footballers where you're like, yo, these men are clear. Apart from Neymar and Mbappe, like with Ronaldo and Messi, bruv, like who's really clear? Like, you know them ones. Like it's just like there's no one clear, bro. Like, you know what I mean? All these guys are similar levels. It just depends on what system they're in.
Yeah.
You know, that's it, bro. You take Mo Salah out of that Liverpool system, and then you put him in Manchester United. He's not doing no 45, 50 goals. He's not. You know them. It just is what it is. Same with Aubameyang, If you put him in another system where he's getting more chances, he probably scores more goals, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I scored all of them at Arsenal, man.
But there you go, innit? And it's just one of them ones where you look at players, it very much depends on what system they're playing in, who they're playing for, and that. In terms of defenders and that, I've always liked Ruben Diaz, bruv, and like, I don't know. But the thing is, with Portuguese league, bruv, it's hit and miss.
We don't know how it's going to transpire in that. The Prem.
Do you know there's so many Portuguese? There's actually like you got Ruben Diaz, you got the left back at Benfica as well, Ronaldo, I think.
Ronaldo, it's cold.
You got Telles.
At the moment, unfortunately,
these men just don't move. Like it's like you think they're ballers, but it's like why are they still there? Then? Do you know what I mean? It's very strange. So it's a a hit and miss league. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes came from there, and he was there for time as well. So maybe sometimes a punt, but these players they look good on the eye from what I'm seeing, but the same time, it's like they're still chilling there. So I don't know.
For me,
when people don't buy these players, bruv, understand that there's people out here that are watching these man week in, week out, innit? And if man are not buying them, there has to be something in it. Either they're on astronomical wages or something, which I doubt because them teams don't have that much money, or there's either a problem with their attitude, or maybe there's something that they're seeing that we are not seeing. Because I even said with the Bruno thing, bro, when I was sure that when we didn't sign Bruno in the summer, he would have ended up somewhere else. He done the last game for Sporting, crying, all of that shit. And then man thought, all right, cool, he's coming United. And when he didn't come United, I was sure that Real Madrid were going to go in for him. Because Real Madrid were looking at Christian Eriksen. Tottenham were looking at him as well. And then in the end, nobody bought him, innit? And straight away, I was thinking, right, like, is there something wrong with man that we don't know? Because...
For me, I think that when I think of Pepe and Ndombele, like obviously there's factors as to why they haven't hit, but I look at Ndombele He linked with PSG, Barca, all of these top teams, and he went to Spurs. I watched him. I wanted him in it. I've watched him for about 2-3 years, and I thought it's a coup for Spurs. But now, obviously, Jose is Jose. But now that you see certain things, did they know something indirectly and take a pass? It's almost like Fred at United. City wanted him. Something happened, saving their grace. So it is a case like that. I feel like that with Pepe as well to a degree. It's like he was linked with everyone. You know, Bayern Munich were very critical on the fact of they scouted him and they didn't want it for any other reason, and that's all football is. I mean, in relation to what he said about centre halves, obviously I would like the names were always linked with the Paul Torreses, the Upamacanos, these sort of things. But if Arsenal you couldn't get these, I'd go for Ben Godfrey of Norwich, purely because I think he's up around several edges. I think he's very naive, but I think there's something to train there. And I think their sporting director said 20 million to get conversations going for him, Aarons, Lewis, and that. So I'd probably go for him and try and see if he can be a player of tomorrow, similar to Maguire. Maguire, people might not think much of him, but he was at Hull one day. Now he's at Man United. So clearly there's been a tiny bit of improvement or something's happened. So I think that's the sort of avenue Arsenal to go for. The Maguires, the Robertsons, the Mane at Southampton before he goes to Liverpool, these sort of targets.
That's what I mean. My man saying third-party ownership is the reason why a lot of these players don't get bought.
True.
I'm not so sure about that though, because there's teams out here that don't care about that. You know, there's teams out there will slap that P down. If man are good enough, they'll slap the P down. That's one thing. Man saw it. You know what I'm saying? We saw it with the Tevez thing. We wouldn't give him the deal, so City bought him. You know them ones, and West Ham got him before then. Bruv, if man really want you, they'll slap the P. You know them ones, because at the end of the day,
have to be even better than whatever you are. You better be.
Because even with what's his name at Juventus that we got linked with, oh, my head's gone blank now, blood. And Tottenham. No, and Tottenham as well. Argentinian
Dybala.
Yeah, Dybala. Like, we didn't want to pay the agents' fees and that, but obviously Juventus did when they bought him. So just because one man ain't gonna pay it, that don't mean someone else won't play it, innit? If man really think you're worth it, they'll play it, innit? Everyone's moral compass is different in football, blood. You know them ones. Certain men are willing to pay agents, whatever. Some men are not, innit? Like, it's just that simple. I don't believe in a situation where that's the only reason why man don't move, innit? Or else they would have been stuck in their country or whatever, like, for their whole career. I don't see that happening. Do you know what I mean? So I just don't really know.
What I do think is though is that if a player has got these third party where their father's involved, or they got Raiola as their agent where there's going to be a massive fee, that just means the player has to be even more bulletproof, because the club is now entering. It's not even just the first purchase. Every contract negotiation for the future to tie them up longer is going to have Raiola or the father involved. It's just going to become it's a very costly thing to have those people involved, because the agent fees, all those extra
management and shit.
So really, if you're going to get involved with a player for that, with all that stuff, then they better be bloody unbelievable. They better be like Neymar level with their father and that. Do you know what I mean? It's going to have to be. It's going to have to be a deal where you don't have any doubts. That's all I'll say. If they have a single doubt, go to someone else.
Yeah, but these things do not exist, bro. Like, man saw it bare times with United. We signed like the likes of Jemba, like Kleberson, bruv, the Obertans and that, bro. There's no such thing as a risk-free transfer without paying over the odds.
Oh yeah.
You know the ones, and even when you do, blood, look at Alexis Sanchez, blood. That was meant to be a sure thing. Already played in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? Already mashed it up in the temp. That was meant to be a sure thing. It was meant to be Van Persie 2.0. It wasn't. Same with Fernando Torres from Liverpool to Chelsea. That was meant to be a sure thing. It wasn't. You know what I mean? There's no such thing as a sure thing in football.
You can only do as much due diligence and research and scrutinize that, and just hope it gives you more confirmation that it's going to be a player. But fundamentally, every player is a risk. It's just about minimizing and mitigating against those risks. Simple as.
This is it, bruv. Over 1,000 people watching. Make sure you slap the like button, bruv. There was a question for you about Coutinho, brother. This one here.
What do you make of the possible Coutinho? Listen, if it's just on ability, of course I'm taking Coutinho. He's a baller. Of course, where Arsenal is right now, I'm taking Coutinho. We've got no ball carriers. We've got no one that can break the lines. You know, Coutinho can score goals. That would be the dream for me. Again, like I said earlier when Rants asked me a similar question, the bulk of that probably comes, you know, he's not wanted at Barca. His agent is Kaya Jarupkin. It seems that we're getting in bed with these sort of guys. So it's easy to make of it. You know, if we can facilitate a loan fee and be, as they've said at Arsenal, we've got to be creative in the market, then I can see Coutinho happening. But for me, I don't see it happening. What gives me confidence is that, you know, the teams he's been linked with a move back to Liverpool. Are they really on that? He was previously linked with United. Are they really on that? The other teams he's been, Bayern Munich don't want to keep him. It seems he's too costly for what other people want to do. And he's linked with Spurs, Leicester, Arsenal. Now, with all due respect to Leicester and Leicester, I'd like to think just on the stature of the club, we're more of a better proposition. You know, where we're behind them. Spurs is probably neck and neck, you know, the Jose Mourinho factor. So that gives me a bit of hope that he might come. But I feel Coutinho needs a club, or these clubs, Coutinho needs to be linked with these clubs or force a move through to these clubs and clubs, etc. Because he's been linked with Chelsea more so than they need him. Because as much as I think a ball player midfielder is a priority, Coutinho in himself, with the context of Arsenal having no money, isn't a priority. You know, if I had to prioritize it, I personally think we need a centre back or two. Midfield is equally as important. You know, we need a box to box or someone that can break the lines. If I was pressed on it, I want someone that's a bit more combative and breaks the lines. Because if you can't go and score, just at least bully and make sure you don't concede. So he is of importance. I don't know if it will happen because, you know, we'd have to take on some of his wages and a fee. Technically, you've got Ozil still here. You want Aubameyang to sign a new deal. You've got a whole heap of other things and other men that are on a 50 or on a 20, and it all adds up. You've got Collagen at second choice left back, you know, 2022, 100k. The financial problems, and there's even talk of signing Ceballos on loan again. Can I believe we can do all of this and facilitate Coutinho? Listen, I'm not a finance man. I don't know what the club is saying, but I don't think it's realistic based on the information we're being presented. If we need to win FA Cup, arguably Arsenal need to win the FA Cup more so, but forget the fact that it's the FA Cup for that 30 million. So, like, can we really be talking about Coutinho, Ozil staying or being moved on, Aubameyang new deal, maybe even a Lacazette new deal, and several other things happening? It sounds like dreamland. But I was pessimistic on Aubameyang coming, so I hope it happens, innit? Just on ability, I'm biting your hand off for Coutinho. Simple.
Yeah, I think Coutinho was the top player. Sorry, go on, bro.
I just think with Coutinho as well as the wages, and I just think with the wages situation as well, it accounts for a lot. It's literally a weekly cost on your club, and I think if Arsenal don't have any money or they don't have a lot of money, which seems to be the case, Ozil's, Coutinho's, 10s that really don't fit the modern game, they might not be the way to go. Do you know what I mean? It might not be the way to go. I think Arsenal's best chance of building a team now is to just, like you said, start from scratch. I know obviously he improves your team, but start from scratch and just start to bring in some young, hungry ballers that are really obviously cost effective as well, because you got a lot of positions to fix up. You got defense to fix up.
Rich, man.
So it's like it's one of those ones. But the thing is with Coutinho is I do think he'll come back hungry. He keeps saying he wants to play in the Prem. He's got to prove after the Barcelona move. It's obviously one of the most expensive players in the world for that price that they paid for him. So he's in terms of fee paid, he's still one of like the top 6.
What a full race, man. Shit.
Yeah.
But bro, he's one hell of a player though.
The baller, that's what,
Listen, what people don't understand here, football's about systems. It's the same with Antoine Griezmann. You see the slander on Griezmann's name, bro. He's one of the coldest ballers in the game right now. But Barca thing's not working for him. But guess what? Barca didn't work for Zlatan either. Does that mean he's rubbish? Do you know what I mean? Henry went Barca and he never looked like the same Henry. He might have won stuff, but he never looked like Arsenal Henry at Barca.
The secondary man, like
there you go. So there's no shame in not working when you go out to Barcelona. That don't mean you can't ball, fam. You know them ones. There's no shame in it, bruv. Coutinho for me is one of the best in the world, blood, in his position, point blank, period, bro. You know them ones. Like I'm not hearing anything else. What I see this brother is ability to receive the ball on the half turn, goes past people and whip the ball in the top corner effortlessly, bro. Like, bruv, you don't see that in football all the time. In terms of pure ability and his ceiling, bro, he's one of the best number 10s in football, period.
That's it.
Period. You know them.
We're playing, no disrespect to Joe Willock, but Joe Willock's playing in that 10. Nothing is relevant then. Like, if it's on ability, Coutinho driving me, I'll drive him myself to the Emirates.
This is it, bro. So man is saying, bro, for 30 million pounds, I would buy Coutinho, blood, and I'd worry about playing him off where he's going to play.
Yeah, worry about that bullshit.
He's definitely a bargain.
For 30 million pounds, he's a bargain, bro. Someone that went for 110 million, and you can get him for 30, and it's a conversation.
Ain't
no conversation, blood. If you see a pair of Air Maxes on sale for £30, blood, even if you don't need them, you'll probably buy them. You know them ones, because it's like, right, that's what a pair of Air Maxes, blood. Like, I'll wear them like, at some point, you know, even if I don't need to wear them tomorrow, like, man's got them £30, man. There you go, win it. Man, get £180 crepes. Man can get it for £30. Say no more.
You'd be stupid not to take it. Simple.
There you go. So when man are looking at the whole Coutinho thing, when I'm looking at the man that we've got on our bench, Phil Jones is on 110 grand a week. But get him out of there, bro. You know them one. It's simple.
And
You know what I'm saying? Pereira will be on about 80 bags. Get rid of that. That's 190 bags that man's freed up. There's bare money. It's not just the money you sell players for. It's also their salaries, bro. If you manage to move Ozil in here, get rid of Ozil, that's 2 players' salaries that he's on.
Ozil and Kolasinac, that's 450k a week.
You see what I'm saying? And then you can bring in Coutinho, blood, and it's calm. You know them ones. Like, because even when I look at my team now, bro, it don't matter, bro. I'll bring in Coutinho. You can play anywhere. You can play in the middle. You can play on the right. You can play on the left, bro. It's a no-brainer.
You probably need someone like that because after Bruno and Pogba, who you really got? Do you know what I mean?
There you go.
Lack of depth. It's the reason why you're looking at Grealish. It's a lack of depth again.
There you go, blood. The man can't tell me that Grealish is better than flipping my man. Forget the age.
Yeah, just give
them man.
We know who's better. Like, as simple as.
So there you go. So this is what I'm saying, bro. And yo, look at this now. Man saying win FA Cup or Aubameyang sides.
You putting me on the spot, fam. I gotta go with the FA Cup in it. It's the collective. You know, I wouldn't feel right saying that, but it's a difficult one. I must admit, if there is a way to sit on the fence, I'm gonna sit on the fence, man. I would take losing the FA Cup if Aubameyang signs, but I do want to win the FA Cup. And I feel, yeah, man, yeah. I think I personally feel the FA Cup isn't going to have much relevance on Aubameyang staying beyond maybe convincing him that, you know, we're building a spirit thing. Arteta could say something like, I told you so. But it's all about, for me, it's all about what the board is saying. Same with Arteta, because I think Aubameyang is a bit like Van Persie. Van Persie said to Wenger, I got nothing but respect for you. You know, I want to play for you. But the way the club's moving and what we're trying to do, it's not what I'm on. The same goes for Aubameyang. I do think Aubameyang, I don't know if people are genuinely interested, but it's the board have got to convince him. Are you going to sort out the centre-half thing? And when you hear about the footballers don't live in a bubble, they do, but they don't. They know about the club's health. They must think the same way when they hear United and all these teams are signing other people. So it's what they can do to convince him. Obviously, salary is an important thing. They put the money, he signs, in my opinion. But to answer his question shortly, man, win the FA Cup without a doubt, man.
There you go. And you saw the man bantering my man at the petrol station and that, blood. These players, yeah, when they're going out, blood, like with their youths and that, man are shouting at them and running them. So obviously they want to win shit.
Simple.
No, like that. So if they're at a club and they feel like, right, the club ain't really challenging, but you can't tell me that as a human being, if there's offers elsewhere, you're not going to be thinking, you know what, fam? Like, bro, I'm one of the best strikers in Europe, because he could say that with his chest, bro.
It's true.
He can say that with his chest.
It's the same with Chelsea. Like we signed Werner, we signed Ziyech. Now Havertz wants to join because his friend Werner's there, and then now Chilwell says he wants, and Rice says he wants because he sees we're building. The more you build, is the more people will come. It's the same as Dubai. It's literally that. The more you build, is the more people will come. Do you know what I mean? If your club is showing ambition and showing like it's trying to do things, that's all people want to see. They want to just see effort. They just want to see effort to get to the top. If you're trying to
or something,
yeah. Something to buy into.
Right. No one wants to be at a club not make no. It's like being in a job. Nobody wants to work for a job where, you know, you're looking around, you're not learning off no one, you're not inspired by no one. You feel the company's not doing no innovative stuff. No one wants to work for no average club or be around bums. It's the same. It's the same with football. It's like you don't want to be around averageness. For Aubameyang, it's a sticky one, Carl. I actually think it's in the balance. I feel he's calm here. You know, I think he likes being captain. He's comfortable in London, and I think obviously at his age, you've got to consider stability. You know, I think if he gets salary. The problem is silverware. Like, he's got no significant silverware in his CV. I don't think clubs are as interested as much as me as an Arsenal fan put it on him, because I think all these clubs will take him. Barca, all these clubs will take him, but they have that price. Yeah, like lower the price, there's other priorities. So that's probably the one benefit. I do think, again, I don't know if anything's been officially presented to him. I think he's holding out for a big contract. If I'm him, I'm trying to get Ozil's wages or close, and Arsenal have a decision to make. Like, we can't give them both that. Ozil probably needs to be moved on, or you've got to bite the bullet. I heard something on The Athletic that technically we have a what's the thing you lot had in Pogba's contract? The next year or something. Apparently, we've got something like that.
An option to extend.
Yeah, but apparently it's not as white and black as that. It says according to if we meet financial obligations. So what does that mean? I'd assume he's a striker. You know, he scores 15 goals. You give him a little grand or something like that. So it'll be interesting, man. I'll do everything to keep Aubameyang. If that means selling Lacazette, doing what we need to do with Ozil, you know, Torreira and Guendouzi. I actually want both to stay, but they're both linked with moves away. Anything we can do to generate peace to keep an Aubameyang for 2-3 years, because again, it's a big if. You got a striker, like you said, you can say he's one of the best in the league. You fix up everywhere else, you have a chance of top 4, and you can't do it without him. You cannot do it. We cannot. You need a top. Every team needs a top striker, whether you're fighting relegation or whatnot. We sell Aubameyang. We're not spending 60, 70 to immediately replace him. We're going for someone with potential. And you, as a United, I know yourself, with the Martials, with the Rashford, soon to be Greenwood, there's going to be games they're amazing, games they're frustrating, what things you're wondering why they haven't kicked on. And I'm not really on that. I like that. I'm an Arsenal fan. I like young players, but I like some players that are just there. Like, I want a centre half who is ready. I want a striker who's scoring goals. We can do the youngster thing everywhere else. I just want assurances that we can keep clean sheets and we can score goals. Simple as.
Yeah. And we talk about experience and needing the right type of experience, and Aubameyang's the right type of experience. This is a guy playing at the top of his level, top of his game. He's got golden boots to show for it. Do you know what I mean? This guy is a top striker. And if you're talking about someone that's going to help the development of Martinelli, help the development of Saka, Pepe, that's exactly what you need. So for me, completely agree with you. You have to get rid of Lacazette, get rid of Lacazette. If you have to get rid of Ozil, for me, he should have been gone years ago. He's not bringing his team. All he's doing is playing video games, fam, and collecting. I know he's useful, but the number 10s are moving out of the modern game. It's why players like Mason Mount are coming into the frame, because your stationary number 10 who doesn't run, your James Rodriguez, your Ozils, these guys they're not this is not how we're going in football. It's just not
about purity anymore, being a pure 10 and poetry and
no, it's not gonna work, because people are looking for versatile players now that can do more than one thing. It's not, you don't just have a role, you have loads of roles in a team now. Like the likes of that, this from Havertz, because Havertz can do the creating, but he can play at 8, he can go out wide, he can play false 9 and be the link up guy as well if he has to be. He's got the height to score from set pieces if need be. You need to be a guy who can be you have multiple traits to you. Do you know what I mean? You can't just be this guy who just sits in 10, waits for the ball to come to him. That's what Ozil does.
You're not doing that to a world-class ability. I actually feel Ozil gets an unfair rep, because I do think he works hard, I've watched him with my own mouth. He does run about, and I do think with Ozil, it shows what's wrong with this game. And the Martial gets it a bit as well. It's in England, it's very much a thing of just running around for the sake of it, In other European clubs, it's a sign of intelligence to run in certain areas, It's body language. England have a problem. My thing with Ozil is that the game's clearly left him because of what you said, Matisse, rightly so, and he's just not doing it. There's been reasons, he's not been on the pitch, he's all this fairy tale stuff, but his statistics, and I don't care for statistics, they're on the floor. My problem with Arsenal and Ozil is, cool, freeze out Ozil, but then when you look at chances created, depending on the stats, Ozil hasn't played since whenever. He's still up there. And what are you doing to eradicate that creativity? With all due respect to Joe Willock, I want to be wrong. I hope he can play there, but he's not a 10 for me. To have any chance, he's a number 8 or the pivot thing. You've loaned out Emil Smith-Rowe. I don't know what else we could do for creativity. So by all means, F Ozil off, but make sure you're bringing something else, because Arteta seems angry about it. He always says, he said something the other day, is like, we had Arshavin, we had Rosicky, we had Wilshere, we had Santi. We need to get back to that sort of blueprint. So he's already saying indirectly, we don't have ballers here. Like, we don't. Yeah. Why he's on keeping.
Arsenal used to play with like 4 or 5 AMs on the pitch at the same time.
Technicians.
We used to play wing. It's mad.
It was literally just one DM and then just pure creators behind one striker. It was ridiculous. It was just pure creativity. That's why you scored those team goals. You don't score those team goals without Santi, without Rosicky, without Wilshere. Even Ramsey could do a little thing. Do you know what I mean? You don't get those. Even, do you know what? Even though Arsenal wasn't winning back when Wenger was there, at least you had an identity. You had people still said, you know what? Arsenal play some lovely shit. They play some serious football. Do you know what I mean? They always make top 4. Do you know what I mean? And people used to mock it. You was winning FA Cups. Do you know what I mean? People used to mock it. Now it's even worse, because you're not making top 4. You're not playing great football all the time. Obviously, Arteta's changing that now. But when Emery was there, Jesus Christ. Do you know what I mean?
So Emery trying to make Torreira, Aaron Ramsey. And it's fantastic what you said about the football, because that's what nobody can tell me. You go back to 08, 07 to 08, 09, we was not winning stuff. But our football might not. The only person I'll accept football verbal from was Barcelona. Nobody else could touch that.
No one else.
True. Fam, Wenger was working with scraps. You had Shamak and Bentner up front sometime.
Cockling.
And Nielsen.
Bruv, that man had Johan Juru,
Well, like-
blood, like that man like that.
Yo,
I'm sure Abue wasn't even a footballer when man brought him in. You
Yeah,
know that, man.
he was a meme done before the memes,
Yeah,
man. He was
yeah.
meant for Mendy, man. Like,
he's Park up front. What's this that Don's name? Park up front.
yeah. He just come to sell shirts with another. Yeah.
Nothing. Working with nothing and still getting top 4. What? That's relegation team. Period.
True.
And
A
now,
man disrespected him, bro. It's a mad thing. Now you look back at it. It's
how about
like,
yeah, when we used to get bantered about being the top 4 team? I remember people used to say death, taxes, and Arsenal coming fourth. I'll buy your hand off for that. Listen, that shouldn't even have rattled me back then. Now look, like we've got no values, no clear philosophy, which I hope Arteta changes. But at the same time, I'm concerned because there's nothing in the grand scheme of things. Arteta is not important in this club structure. When you look above the players, obviously, he's the most disposable. He's a head coach. He can be as angry as he wants. He can't change anything. It's not like Fergie or Wenger. And that's where, to this season, more than anyone, I need Raul Senye, Vinay, Huss Farmi. They all need to pull it out. Deal with the contracts, learn from hindsight and apply better foresight. You know, if we need a centre half, you cannot get this target, go and get this and that. I don't think there's enough due diligence. Clearly show what we're trying to do in the market. Because on one hand, you know, we're signing these young players. It seems like we're on the profit thing. Then we're signing Louise and we're linked with Willian. And I hope to God the Willian thing don't happen because it sends out a terrible message, like an absolute terrible message that is short-term freestyling. So clear.
You get him, you know. So you don't see him every week. You're about to see what I'm talking about.
It's London, it's local. It just makes sense.
You lot have killed me already with Louise and Czech. I don't want no one else from this club.
Chelsea retirement home, innit? Arsenal.
Yeah, like, bro.
You're gonna soon see. You're gonna see when this guy's taking a corner and he can't beat the first man at grown 31 years of age. You know, you're gonna soon see it, fam. Trust. One time he took a corner in America in a preseason game. The thing went out near the circle, near the center. Trust. We was playing a charity game. He took the corner and it went out for the center circle.
Wow.
That's what Chelsea fans are saying. Now that Willian's going to Arsenal, when we have corners up against us, now finally Willian's corners are going to come to us because he's going to be at Arsenal. Trust.
People just on the edge of the box like Frank Lampard and just finish it like.
Starting counter attacks for him. You're going to soon see what, because the thing is with Willian, is that he's a very hard worker. Obviously, every manager's loved him. He tracks back. He does his dude. He obviously the attack's lopsided, but he covers for any defensive frailties if we can't have a right back who's defending 1v1. Obviously durable as well. He doesn't get injured much like Aubameyang. I'm sure he trains very hard, but at the end of the day, the pundits love him. Commentators love him. When you see commentators talking about Willian, they talk about him like he's the next thing. They
make out that he's R9 and that. Bro. Like
the end of the day, when it comes to output, you're gonna soon see what this brother's about, fam. Because it's just woeful, fam. It's just
and that's
woeful.
why it doesn't make sense, bro. Because Arsenal have a lack of goal scorers. Of our 56 goals scored in the Prem, 22 are from Aubameyang. Like, why are you gonna bring in someone who, you know, he can have the experience, he can have ability? I'll take that, but the numbers aren't gonna match up. You're gonna bring in another man with iffy numbers to add into this on top of his wages. It just screams getting in bed with agents. Like, that's one thing I'll give Wenger. Yeah, I do think his reluctance to mess with some agents, and he kind of toned it down, cost us. But at least a man had a rule, because then you can clearly see what we're on. Now, we're not even getting in bed with the agents for the right thing, because it's not even a wrong thing doing that. You look at Wolves. Would Wolves be doing what they was doing if they didn't use, what's his name, Mendes, and get João Moutinho and all the Portuguese players? We're not doing this thing right. Like, we're just freestyling. Like, we're just actually asking you clients, we'll take that, we'll take that.
If there was a template and you said, you know what, we'll take your clients that fit into this, cool. You know, it's not just we'll take anyone.
Literally that.
And that's what it is. So now, like, 100%, bruv, I agree, innit? You, man, make sure you smash the like. Bruv, man's had over 1,000 people watching most of the show. You, man, that mods in here, keep this thing under control, blood, or I'm going to start sacking you, blood. You know that, man? Because I see some wild things. I've been seeing some wild things throughout the chat, bruv, and I've had to get rid of some people myself, innit, bruv? You, man, stay woke, bruv. You know that, man? You got one job and that. Don't be sleeping on the job, fam. You know them, I might have to wake you up like Ghost woke up Tariq, blood, with the 4-5, blood. You know, like that. Wake up with the 4-5, blood.
You got chat controllers.
What's that, bro?
You got chat controllers.
Yeah, bear man. I got bare mods in there, but some of them are sleeping. I see things slipping through the cracks. I might have to do that myself. You know them ones. But big up everyone. that's watched the show, bruv. Obviously, follow the man them as usual. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure you get the likes up, bruv. Because when man's got over 1,000 people, there was one point where someone said there was like 100 and something likes. Obviously, it would have gone up by now, but that should never be happening, bruv. That should never be happening. If there's 1,000 people watching, I want at least 50% of you man to like it, bruv.
I lie.
You get me? So that's what I'm saying. Don't be a hater. Don't be a pagan. You get me? And obviously, the man them, we'll see you lot again soon, man. Big up. And make sure you go and follow the man them. The links are in the description.
I know.